What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another 15 minutes segment. I'm here. It's 10 minutes to midnight. I'm sitting here once again at my desk, here to talk about the TV show Gilmore Girls, which is on every night on what channel? I don't know what channel. For me, it's basic cable. So I actually ask a lot of people this question, which is, do you have cable? Most people say no, and they'll be like, oh, I use streaming. But I guess a lot of people aren't even aware that you can get a digital antenna. The one I have is called a Mohu Leaf. You plug it into the back of your TV and you get all basic cable channels over the air. It's a modernized version of bunny ears. So they just digitize the old school analog radio waves somehow. I don't know. That's actually pretty interesting. There's a topic I could explore and keep myself occupied. So, how exactly did it work when they converted the analog uh, TV radio signals of yesteryear into the modern digital cable? I was around when this went down, actually living in Manhattan in my little studio apartment. And every night I used to sit on a futon and watch like Seinfeld. I used to watch Arsenio Hall's rebooted TV show, Seinfeld. What else did I watch? I watched a little bit of Conan, Fallon. Uh, those were good times. We can revisit this time, or those times maybe at some point along the way. I guess it's like the final years of my partying lifestyle sort of like playing out, and also working full time for quite a bit of time. And then when I wasn't working full time, you would think that I would have had, oh, it's a big party, but actually it was the opposite. It was just like a crushing amount of stress about what the next move was going to be. But that is for another time. Like I said last night, my mouth just gets dry as soon as I start talking, and then it's like, what's wrong with this, guys? You got a lisp or what? Making mistakes all over the place. I'm coughing into the mic by accident. I should know better than that. But anyway, Gilmore Girls. So let me start the timer, and I can just go. So this is a show where I hadn't seen it up until, I don't know, maybe like 5 months ago or something. And it was on TV, and I just start watching it. And then immediately when I start watching, I'm like, something happened where the scene changed, and I was like, you know what? I'm interested to see how this is going to all play out. So I start watching it, and then fairly quickly, I got invested in the storyline. So when I started watching, and the basic cable channel that's playing it back, and my timer has just begun, the basic cable channel that's playing it back plays the full series. And I have some info here on my computer that I'm looking at. So I started watching early on season 2. I haven't seen season 1 at all. And there are 7 seasons. So they play 1 through 7 just on a loop right now. I guess that's the definition of syndication. So somewhere in season 2 is when I start watching. And the thing that struck me is that the writing is pretty good. And it just has a high level of realism to it. So, and this just one episode stuck out as sort of like the early pinnacle of my viewing enjoyment, and that would be episode number 19 of season 2, called Teach Me Tonight. So, one of the original plot lines that kind of drew me in was the main character's daughter. So, Rory's love triangle with Jess and Dean. So, I guess if you're watching this video, I'm gonna assume you've seen the show before, and I'll go on with some of my generic thoughts about the show in general now, as to not bore the listener. And this is like something I thought about earlier today. The writing is quite good. Things that stick out for me. One, the fact that I believe the writer Jewish of the show, but they depict a Jewish. Rory Gilmore is Jewish, right? Is Amy Sherman Palladino Jewish? Let's see. She's born in L.A. Her father from the Bronx was Jewish. Her mother was a Southern Baptist from Mississippi. Mississippi. See, I'm stuttering on the mic. She has stated that she was raised as Jewish, sort of. So, I don't know how that works. But the characters in Gilmore Girls are Jewish. Not that it matters, but it's just something that. And then, like, you start, it's almost like what's that, Mandela effect? You start looking at Hollywood in general, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's so many Jewish people. The thing that blew my mind was Melissa Joan Hart. Is she Jewish? Melissa Joan Hart, Jewish? No, she's not. Okay. Her maternal grandmother was half Russian Jewish. All right, that would have blown my mind. All right, here we go. Gilmore Girls. The writing is great for like the way the characters interplay. But I have noticed that Sherman Palladino, every male character is like a dumbass. And the one that disappointed me. So I've seen the whole series through to the finale actually. And there was like certain nights, it plays every night for an hour or two. So there's certain nights where I didn't actually watch the episode too closely. But the Jess and Dean plotline drew me in initially. And it's interesting because neither Jess nor Dean, in my opinion, has like neither of them are like have fully redeeming qualities. Like Jess is a dumbass and a douche, but Dean is kind of a douche too because he like builds Rory a car and he gets so desperate when she like is not interested. But that's why the writing is good because there is a layer of realism to it. However, you would think there'd be one male character who would like have some sort of redeeming qualities, but Lorelai's baby daddy is perhaps my least favorite character on the show because he's like super douche. And then you go, oh, well, what about the dude that owns the diner, Luke's diner? And like Luke is cool at first. It's kind of like a disservice to the actor who plays the character because it seems like the actor who plays it is like probably a good guy, but then like some of the writing when he gets almost married to Lorelai, the writing makes him look like an idiot, like he's a dumbass. And then I guess like the father of Lorelai, Richard Gilmore, is he depicted as a douche? Well, his depiction is okay. And I guess in the opening credits to it, he is credited as like a on again, off again part of the cast. All right, so what are some of my other thoughts on this show? I definitely had some more. Oh, I like so there's like different plots that go down. So after Jess and Dean ends, she moves on to the guy from college who's the Yale uh he's part of like Skull and Bone Society at Yale. He's kind of a douche too. Although maybe he's got like somewhat redeeming qualities because he has like a decision to make when he takes Rory on vacation to his father's whatever like home in Nantucket and then like the father like emasculates him while he's on the vacation and he kind of handles it pretty good. And then like I kind of lost interest when the relationship between them went further and further. But I did enjoy the newspaper at Yale segments, and I enjoy the character of Paris. This is just me talking about what I like about the show, but hey, I'm giving you what I like. Paris is Jewish in the show, and so is the actress, right? Paris Geller, fictional character. Alexis Bledel too. It's weird because you watch any actress or actor, they're on these shows in like the prime of their life, and then as it goes into syndication, you're seeing like a snapshot of them at a certain age. So like she's Alexis Bledel has aged. What does she look like now? I'm looking it up. 2025. They just made an appearance, right? Alexis Bledel made a rare public appearance at the 2025 Emmy Awards alongside Lauren Graham. Let's see, is she single? Born in 81, so she's 7 years older than me. She got divorced in 2022. I guess I was reading on the internet. I think it was on Reddit. Not that I read Reddit or have a membership, but occasionally you Google something and then you read the nerds on Reddit talking about it. And it is interesting because it's like shock. It's like shock jock commentary, but people were criticizing her, saying that she phoned it in for the reunion show, which was called A Year in the Life or A Day in the Life or something. Yeah, I mean, how can you blame her, because she's rock solid throughout the whole series playing Rory Gilmore. And some of the best plot lines are between Rory Gilmore and the grandparents. But another thing too that opened my eyes, like people talk about this show on the internet, and the reason why it's good is because you can get into a conversation about it. And I don't watch a ton of whatever style of show this is. This is like a comedy drama or something. Comedy drama. Wow, I nailed it. I don't watch a lot of this, but the reason why it's good is you can have a conversation and there could be legitimately two different viewpoints on certain like character developments, and that's a credit to the writing of Sherman Palladino. I can't give her enough credit because the writing is quite good, especially that episode "Teach Me Tonight." Basically, there's like a car accident where Rory goes on a drive with Jess. They get into the car accident, and then like you see the reactions of all the other people on the cast, but in a way where it's very compelling, and it also makes you think like what, like you have to decide for yourself how you feel about how everything that's going down, and like how to decipher the drama that's unfolded before you. And it's not even always dialogue driven, although the show is extremely heavy on dialogue. It's like they wrote like Mad Libs of, I don't even know, like comedic intellectualism Mad Libs, just like stuffing dialogue into the show, which could be a turn off, but it kind of works. It's like watching Jeopardy on fast forward, and then you got a little comedy show going on beyond it. But yeah, how much time do I have left? 4 minutes. The main character of the show. Let me take a sip of this. Oh, I haven't even gotten started yet on Melissa McCarthy. So I made a tweet about this. Not that anyone reads my Twitter, but because when I first started watching, I go, "Oh, Melissa McCarthy's in Gilmore Girls," and because I'd never seen it before whatever 4 or 5 months ago until I found it on TV. But I used to be a huge Howard Stern fan, and I definitely remember her being on Howard Stern and complaining about like, "Oh, my career never really took off." And I'm watching the show like you're a major character in a huge hit show on network TV. This originally aired on what, WB? I mean, how can you complain about that? But hold on a second. I'm talking too much and not having enough to drink. Yeah, so I will say this about Melissa McCarthy and her character of Suki. Suki. Her acting is bad when the show first starts, but as the show progresses, her acting improves. Because if you compare her delivery to Michelle in the staff at the inn, who's probably one of the underrated characters of the show. He's totally believable, and you don't even question it for a second. But with her, you can kind of see like, oh, this is a woman who's like delivering lines as an actress, sort of thing. So, but she does improve a little bit as the show progresses. And yeah, how much time do I have left? 2:22. Lorelai Gilmore. Now this is where, and I'm gonna restart the thought that I had, whatever, 5 minutes ago. So I'm on Reddit reading people talking about the show, saying like, "Oh, the reunion was bad. Alexis Bledel phoned it in." But then there was another thread that I tended to agree with and kind of opened my eyes to looking at the show. But if you look at the character of Lorelai Gilmore, I guess is the main character of the show pretty much. She's kind of like a female douche, and the reason why is that she makes every, well, I can criticize her a lot, but she's like a try hard. She tries to be like really witty. I hate people like this. They try to be snarky and witty all the time, but it's like, yeah, I don't have time for like snark in my life at all. Um, so it's like, you know what it is? It's the word pretense. I don't even know if it's correctly applied, but you're creating a tension, but you're going before that, pretension. So you're like building up tension for me to like say something back. But I didn't ask for that. I'm just here to like communicate on a free flowing level where it's just like whatever I want to say, I'll say, and like if you're trying to like milk certain words out of me, like good luck because it's not going to happen. So her character does that over. She'll like do a mouthful and then the other person in the conversation is left with like uh she's trying baiting responses out of people. I don't like people that like that. So that's one. I could go on and on about things about her character that are bad. But if you watch the show more closely, at first you're like, oh, she's trying to act in the best interest of everybody around her, her daughter, etc. But then as you look a little bit closer and you look at it through a different lens, you're like, oh wait, she's kind of like a piece of shit. Like she's like self-serving and like I don't know. She kind of sucks as you watch the show more and more. And a good example of that is that, all right, there's my 15 minutes. I can wrap up on this. A good example of that is when she dates the dude Jason something. Is that his name? Yeah, his name's Jason, but they give him a nickname. Who's the son of the like competing business partner for her father. The dude that she dates is like totally like a, he just comes across so phony and unlikable and like, for instance, this, I'll end it on this. In one of the episodes, she's at his apartment and he's like, oh, then he gives this whole speech and he's like, I need you to sleep in the other room, which is like, what? Like, who are you? Like, why would you even do that? And then he's like, yeah, but the room is nice. This is why the writing is good, because then it makes you really think about, like, how is this going to play out? So she's like, oh, if you need me to sleep in the other room, I'm going to leave. But then she stays with the guy for quite a while and only dumps him when, I guess, her father's business interests get in the way. It's pretty good writing. That's why the show's good. But I made it all the way to season 7. It does kind of, it doesn't hit as hard. Like once you hit season 6, halfway through season 6, it kind of falls off a bit. But I think that's true of a lot of classic TV shows. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Gilmore Girls. I could keep on going for longer. Uh, I left out all my thoughts on Sebastian Bach, who's pretty good in the show, and Lane Kim and Lane Kim's mother, and that whole storyline, and the whole thing with like Rory getting the job at the newspaper, and then like she drops out and she comes back. It's a whole thing, but the show's pretty good. It kept my interest for quite a while, and I could rewatch seasons whatever 1 through 7 again and be pretty entertained. In fact, there's some good episodes just singularly that you could watch a couple times in a row to like diagram how they all play out. But that's my 15 minutes. I'm going to stop before I keep going. And thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Bye.